A very good day to one and all listening to this audio. My presentation is on the topic of multimedia, that is, of multimedia authoring tools and multimedia authoring software. In this presentation, I'm going to tell you about what are the different authoring tools on which multimedia works on. Depending on these tools, you have to select your software also. First of all, what is an authoring tool? I believe that you all know multimedia is a combination of text, images, sound, and video. We need the authoring tool, which is a package which allows the developers to write the hypertext or multimedia application by linking the objects like text, graphics, sound, song, videos together. It is the authoring system that allows the user to present the interactive multimedia session on any platform. The example can be Micromedia Flash, Dreamweaver, PowerPoint, and many others. Now, when we are working on authoring tools, there are two important terms which we should know. One is an author, and second is authoring. Author is the person who creates the multimedia application, and authoring is the process of creating that multimedia application. That means if my project is ready, that application is created with the help of the authoring tools. And which authoring software I select depends on what authoring tool I am using. Now, what is the role of authoring software? It produces the context with plain or text or animation tools, whatever is required. It incorporates and combines different contents. It can be used to design screen layouts using templates. It can create interactive sessions so that the person can navigate in the previous session, or he or she can move ahead. It can create hypertext, which allows you to move from one source to another source. And if I'm talking of multimedia, we can also create hypermedia, which allows not only text but uh, graphics, images, sound also to act as the hypertext media. It also enables the developer to create, edit, and import data. So all this is finally done with the help of authoring software. Now, products that can be developed by these authoring software, we can develop a multimedia presentation, we can develop e-learning tools, we can develop computer-based trainings, then web pages can be developed using these authoring software. Simulations can be done. You can show your car simulation, you can show your any game simulation, anything can be shown with the help of authoring software. Artistic visualization, that how this thing will be represented, can be shown with authoring software. And this is not the end, many other things can be represented with the help of authoring software. Now, what is the purpose of multimedia authoring tools? The major purpose is it provides a framework for organizing and editing elements of multimedia project. That means I can keep all my content data at one place. When I'm working in multimedia project, I'm working with text also, I'm working with image also, there is sound to be added, there is video to be created. So all this data can be organized in one project, and that is done with the help of authoring tools. Now, another use I can say is it is used for designing interactivity. When I'm working with multimedia authoring tools, I may be required to move forward, or I may be required to move backward. I may need navigation buttons, I may need some playback form. So all these things can be added and supported with the help of authoring tools. Then we have to design user interface. Using storyboards, I can design my interface. I can according to my storyline, I have placed some characters, but when I'm complete running the project, I may find that this tool storyboard in the storyboard, that some actors is not getting fit at the place where I have put them, so I can change them also. This is one place where multimedia authoring tools is very beneficial. Then I can use it for presenting projects. I may use it for assembling multimedia elements in a coherent or cohesive project, that may be ongoing project or some usable project. It allows creation of video production, animation, games, interactive training, simulations, prototypes, visualization. This is not an end. I, for example, if I talk of video production, any video I can design, it may be a video for a film, it may be a video for a small advertisement. It all depends on what authoring tools are required. Then animation, I can create an animated cartoon, I can create an animated game, or I can create an animated storyline also. Interactive games can be created using multimedia authoring tools. We can have training sessions that can be given and designed so that a person can know how any software can be utilized, where to click on which button. Everything can be shown interactively as well as with the voice modulation added to it. Then simulations can be done so that a person can have the look and feel of how the thing has to be worked on. This all can be done with the help of multimedia. Then I talk of prototypes. Prototypes are like models which are shown before giving the exact project. So this also helps the end user to know how the final product will have the look and feel. Talking about visualization, visualization includes the look and feel of the project and with all the tools added to it. In prototype, I may not add all the tools, whereas in visualization, I give the customer look and feel of all the tools so that he or she might know, okay, where the navigations are there, what all I have to taken as the home buttons, what all I have taken as the interactive buttons, so that in the end, when the final product is built, the customer may or may not say to me that this product is not what I want. So I have given a visual look of my project, that this is how the project will look. If he or she is satisfied, then I should go for the complete project. Otherwise, I should change it according to the demand of the user. Now, these authoring tools can be divided in two parts depending on the metaphor and or depending on the capability and complexity. Generally, we divide it in metaphors only, and using metaphors, we again can divide them in four parts. Let's see what are those four parts. First of all, what does metaphor mean? Metaphor is a based on which I divide my project depending on three characteristics. First, the way the program is organized. Second, the program sequence that is going to happen. Third, the way the application is going to be delivered to the end user. Now, depending on these characteristics, I may use either time-based metaphor tool or a card-based or page-based authoring tool, icon-based or event-driven-based authoring tool, or theoretical-based authoring tool. Before going to these, let me give you a gist of all this. When I talk of time based, that means I know my project is to be completed in some time and I'll be strictly working on that time tool only. I'll place all my elements on this time base where where the time element is the most important for me. I'll put my every storyboard thing on the storyboard, my text, my image, and I'll see that the project is working on the that time. Secondly, when I talk of card based or page based, this is like a notebook the where I can place all my elements in a like a deck of cards. And the major part or major advantage of this authoring tool is I can pick any deck of cards. In time based, I have to sequentially move to all my elements which are placed to go. If I have to go to the fifth element, I have to sequentially go to first, second, third and fourth in time based. Whereas in card based or page based, I can directly jump to the fifth element. So this is my advantage. So if I don't need a sequential go, I'll prefer card-based tool. If I need that a person should see my whole story or my whole project, he or she should not jump to any location, then I will prefer time-based. Another is icon-based. Like in other Visual Basic programming or C# programming, we have icons. Clicking on those icons, you can visualize what has to be given to the user. The biggest example I can say is, suppose I want to make a mind game. I can put that mind game in the, and I can put some puzzles on it where I can show different icons with their images. Like for example, I can show one image for say where the person is, where the question mark is shown, where a person can think that this will be or something based on FAQs. Then I can put an icon which where a person is thinking. So, and I can show a brain type of icon. Then the person can uh, quickly visualize and think that this might be brain teasers. Similar manner, I can put puzzles and I can put the icon of puzzles. All these the icons help me to visualize what type of items will be inside that icon. I can also say, suppose I'm making something for rhymes. Now, a person has to read all the content and then visualize what type of rhymes he or she is going to get in my project. But what if I put an icon? Suppose I put an icon of rain, then the person will know that all the rhymes here will be about rain. I can put a icon of kid, then the person will know that this all when I click this icon, I'll get all the rhymes based on kids. Similar way, I can put an icon of tree where all the rhymes related to tree can be there. Similar manner, other objects I can put on the icons, and the person can visualize that which type of rhyme on clicking that icon he or she might get. Now, the next one is theatrical based. This is very important when I'm talking about the movies I'm creating. Movies are not made on time based because when I'm watching a movie, it is for 2.5 hours or 3 hours. But when I'm creating a movie, it is not for 2.5 or 3 hours. It's a big project. Today I might do one part of the movie. Tomorrow I'll do another part of the movie. Here I place the actors, the actresses, the songs, the story, depending on the storyline, all the text, all the audios, all the moving images. Each I have to place on its storyboard. But the difference between time based and theoretical based is time based completely works on and completely depends on time constraint as well as it is sequential. Whereas theoretical based, it is not completely time bound, but yes, I give time here also. And it is not necessary that I might move sequentially. When I'm placing the actors or when I'm placing the song, I might find out that the song I have placed at the after the 10 minute of the movie, then I may found out that this song may give more effect if I place it at after half an hour of the movie. So I might move the song from the after 10 minutes of the storyboard to the 30th minute of story. So all this is possible with the help of theatrical base. So let's understand them, these authoring tools with their authoring softwares quickly. So first, time-based metaphor says, in time-based authoring program, the elements of programs are organized along the timeline and events may be precisely synchronized by coordinating the time, speed, and display length of each. It also uses framing where the timely adjustment of the frames are done so that each is placed on their frame. The example can be the Aston software by Goldays, it can be the Macromedia Flash software, the Director software, or Cinemation from Vividus. The time-based tools are best suited for messages with a beginning or an end. That means if I want to give a small message, a small advertisement, I'll be using this tool. Some time-based tools facilitate navigation and interactive control. That means I can move backwards. Otherwise, it is sequential only. You assemble and sequence the elements of your project using myriad elements for presentation, including authorware or collaboration, meetings, events, webworks, as well as training. The web conferencing software enables the professional to instantly communicate and collaborate through easy to use and easy to access online personal meeting rooms. This gives me an advantage to move and communicate with different tools. A new addition to the Acrobat family, that is the Acrobat Connect, breaks down the technology barriers of the traditional web conferencing software and allow interactive online personal meeting rooms to business professionals. Like when we are having any Zoom meeting or meeting with the Microsoft team, we are not only having a session where we all can have look and feel of each other like video conferencing. We can share presentations, we can chat with each other, we can like in Microsoft team I can get your attendance. So all this is possible with this web conferencing tool. Now when I talk of macromedia tools, they have different events which can be shown on these. For example, I say cast. Cast allows me the multimedia database containing still images, sound, text, shapes, programming scripts, flash movies, all to be put on the storyboard. Now score. It is a sequencer for displaying, animating, and playing the cast members. So how I'm going to put my cast member is shown with the help of score. I can show you the score also. This is the cast, like where all the elements are shown here, where I am putting the image, where I am putting the sound, where I am putting the text. All this can be shown in the cast. When I talk of score, this is the score where I'm putting where I'm noting how will each playback be running and what all elements and how much time it is taking to show the elements. So this is the advantage of cast and score. Now next is animation, which allows me to put anything in a movement. For example, I can show the movement of my work from uh, playback 0 seconds to 25 seconds, or I can show animated movies, I can show animated advertisements. Then it allows me by placing graphic sprite on the stage and changing its location over several frames. Another we have Lingo, which is a fully featured object-oriented language to enable interactivity and program control in my project. Then another example is Adobe Flash, which has rich multimedia content to the web. It gives the creation of simple static HTML pages with the Flash Player. There is an action script by which you can move one object to another. Apart from that, there are nowadays many online software available through which you can create your multimedia time-based authoring too. Moving to the second one, that is card-based or page-based metaphor, which says that that allows me to pick any one of the stack of the card or pages of book, and I don't have to sequentially go to all. It is easy to move from one page to another because most programs use buttons and hotspots, which allow the user to choose their own path. It contains media objects such as buttons, text fields, and graphics objects, which allows to have the interactive sessions also along with the movement of the object. A card-based program usually have common controls such as backgrounds, navigation bars, which are common to all cards to be placed in a background layer, and elements which are different on each card can be placed on the foreground. This is one benefit. When I have a same element which is going in all the cards, I can place it as a background instead of repeating it every time. And when I have different elements, those I can place in my foreground so that each card with a different look can be seen. Like example, your wallpaper, it goes with all, but foreground look of each icon is different in your mobiles. Now, card-based or page-based authoring systems have best use when the bulk of your content consists of elements that can be viewed individually. That means viewing my fifth element does not affect not viewing of my first, second, third, or fourth element. The pages of a book or cards are placed in a card file. Link of these pages or cards are again organized in sequence manner. You can jump on command to any page. You can play sound elements and launch animations and digital video also in this. Now, this is an example of a card base where the background layer that can be used to share among many cards, but the foreground layer is specific to a single card. The advantage of this is it is easy to understand, easy to use as it provides templates for all, short development time, it can be quickly made, I can place all the tools in the sequence and whichever I want to pick, I can pick at any time. The disadvantage is some run only on one platform. This is the biggest disadvantage, as today we need everything to be platform independent. It is not very much powerful as equivalent to standalone applications. Example can be HyperCard, HyperStudio, Asymmetrics Toolbox, SuperCard, Media Object, Toolbook, Visual Basic, PowerPoint, Astown, or SST 3.0. Now more examples have also been added. In HyperTalk or MetaTalk, I can use on mouse up, get go next card, end mouse up. That means whenever I release my mouse, I can go to the next card. An example in OpenScript can include, like, to handle the button up page, I can go to next page. So wherever how is it interactive on these buttons, I'm moving to my next page instead of directly going to the next page. The example is in front of you, like in HyperCard, you can see I can create a HyperCard QuickTime tool, I can create a HyperCard mail merge tool, I can put different, as you can see, I can put the stack kit, I can put the different cards on different card numbers, and whichever card I want to jump, I can jump to that card. So this is a major advantage of HyperCard. Coming to the third one, that is icon-based metaphor, which is designed using visual programming approach to sequencing the event in multimedia application. The developer dragged the icons for each event, such as text, graphics, sound, and video, to a flow line, thus creating a visual flow chart, like we do in our Visual Basic also, and C# also, and many other tools, where we take from the toolbox the icon. Like I can take the timer icon and put the timer event. I can put labels, text box, whatever icon I need. I can drag the icon from the toolbox and put it in my project. In a similar way, I can make my own icons also. This is also allowed in the icon-based metaphor. Now, icons may be rearranged by dragging them to the desired position. It is not that if I have put the fifth icon on its place, I cannot change it. I can reposition it at any time. Some examples are like the authorware, icon author. Now the advantage and disadvantage. When I talk of advantage, it has a clear structure and it is easy to visualize also. That I can, with the view only, I can say when the rain figure is there, I can know this will be something about rain. When the child figure is there, I can know this will be something about kids. So it's very clear and easily viewable. Easy editing and updating is allowed. You can change the place of the icon at any time. Disadvantage is difficult to run because you have to know, you need to know the drag and not only the drag and drop part, but how, where the coding of it is placed, the scripting of it is placed, and in one icon how many other things have been placed. This knowing the whole part has little complexity, and yes, it is little expensive also, because in one icon I might store many small projects or many small things inside it. Now the complexity increases when I have to move from one to another, and how they have been placed. When I have to run the whole project, I need to see that which how each other are linked. Now, what are the features of this is that icons are gathered along the line. Each element or event is organized in a structured framework. It provides a visual programming approach to organize and present multimedia tools. When navigations are complex, charts are useful for development. So as I told you, that when I have many icons, and in each icon I have many other projects based, then moving from one to another becomes a little complex. So I can create a chart, like on your Windows Explorer, on the left hand panel you have the plus and the minus sign, which shows what is there inside each folder. So similar way, I can have a chart which can show me what is inside in one icon, what is inside second icon. So the person can get a clear picture what all tools are placed inside each icon. Now, displaying the flow diagram of activities along the branching path. This is also like creating your B tree, which shows that what is placed inside the root. I can have the root where my starting is there. Then I may have 4 folders. Then what are the subfolders? All this I can show either in a tree manner or in a chart manner, depending on how much complex the project is. Now, multimedia elements and interaction cues are organized as objects in flowchart. That means I can, in a flowchart manner, I can show how each is dependent on the other. The flowchart can be built by dragging appropriate icons from the library and then adding the content to it. The flowchart is created to show the organization of icons or elements. That means depending on the flow of the data, I can show which data is the superset and which data is the subset. And I can also show the activities dependent on different tools. One icon might be showing you, for example, multimedia, and what all topics of multimedia are covered are can be the subpart. Then in the subpart also, suppose for authoring tools, I might have 4 subparts also. So all this I can show, visualize in a form of a chart. Then your second topic like Linux can be shown. Now what all is inside Linux, how the units are divided, how their elements are divided, all that can be shown either in a chart manner or in a navigation manner, in a tabular manner. That depends on the creator or the designer. Each icon represents a particular event. It might be a button, graphics, text, or video. So this is how authorware can be presented. As I told you, you can represent the root thing here. Then how each is divided, like the introduction can be given, the major group. Now unit has subgroups. So this way I can organize my data, and just by visualizing, the person can know how many photos are there. 3. So this is a very clear picture of what all is there inside it. Instead of moving all, if I want to see the second photo, I can directly jump and move to the second one. Now the last one is the theoretical based or script based metaphor. When I have to create an authoring program where the events are thought of the cast members and arranged in the theater like production or stage, creating for a movie or something, and which is not totally dependent on time, I'll use this theoretical based metaphor. It is a powerful object oriented scripting language, usually placed at the center of the system. This multimedia authoring is object oriented, where events and components are treated as objects, like in all object oriented language where each thing is treated as an object. Example can be Macromedia Writer. There are more tools added now. The advantage of this is it is highly powerful interactive tool. Disadvantage is the scripting paradigm tends to be larger in development, because my movie is just not made in 2.5 hours. It takes a long time, and placing the script one after another is a tedious task. Like here you can see we are placing the tools, and here we are giving the score also. The timeline is also kept as it was there in time base, but time base was totally constrained on time. This is not totally. I can place this from this position to this position at any time, and how each what all objects are added you can see and visualize here, and you can directly jump and see the coding of that also. This is also possible in this theoretical base. The object-oriented part sees that the elements and events are objects that have a hierarchical order, that is, who is the parent and who is the child. The message passing allows the objects to do things depending on their property settings. This is particularly useful for games and simulating real-life situations. The object-oriented examples can be Apple Media Tool, MediaForge, Mtropolis. Now, as we have done for metaverse, we have also the classification based on capability and complexity. Now, what is the tool capable of and how much complexity it can handle? Depending on that, we have designed 3 multimedia authoring tools. One is multimedia capable presentation tool. Second is dedicated media integration tool, and the third one is professional multimedia development tools. You won't find this topic in many books, but this is also one thing related to authoring tools. When I talk of multimedia capable presentation tools, the PowerPoint is the best example, where we have the slide presentation of each of the content. The semi to non-professional applications can be designed in this. It is mostly used for educational or training purposes, but I'm not limited to that. Usually has an efficient integrating chart, graphics, and illustration to show how this is represented. The example include PowerPoint, Adobe Persuasion, Lotus Freelance Graphics, Word Perfect Presentation, software publishing by Harvard Graphics. Talking of the second one, that is dedicated media integration tools. It has the sequence, multimedia event, and element. That is, all multimedia and elements are placed one after the other. It can be used for semi to full professional use. The example includes IBM Storyboard, Asymmetric Media Blitz, Passport Producer. In this, I am totally dependent on my software. That is dedicated me. This will be completely depending on my tool. The third one I can say is the professional one. The first and second one can be used by the semi people also. If you are not fully professional of using the multimedia tool, you can still use the first and second one. But this third one is the one which is totally used by the professionals. That means they have the complete knowledge of multimedia elements. They know how the designer has to be done, what is the role of audio and video specialist, how each tool has to be placed, what where the scripting has to be placed, how the scripting is dependent on the tools. When you are totally professional on it, then you should go for professional multimedia development tools. They are highly interactive applications like games. It is for fully professional use. Programming and scripting capabilities should be known. Examples includes Macromedia Director, Authorware of Flash. It can also have asymmetric toolbook, Apple's HyperCard, Amtech's Icon Author, all goes inside this. Now, authoring system in multimedia is used based on the elements and events, and they are taken as, treated as object. Object exists in the hierarchical order, that is the parent is on the top and all the childs are represented below it. Each object is assigned a property and a modifier. The property shows what all properties each object possesses, and modifier allows you to change any property if you want. On receiving messages, object perform the task depending on the properties as well as the modifier. Now, selecting the right tool is the most important part. Flash and PowerPoint we will be preferring when we need to present something over the web. When we need to show videos, slideshows, and diagrams with sound and graphics, I prefer these tools. We have e-learning modules which we can show on PDAs, MP3 players, and intercollege networks. It includes web-based teaching materials, multimedia CD-ROMs or website, discussion boards, collaborative softwares, wikis, simulation, animations, blogs, learning management softwares, as well as email. It is also referred to as a distance learning or blended learning. When I talk about blended learning, that is a mix of both having a video lecture as well as having a classroom teaching. Now, different stages of authoring are, first of all, is analysis. That means I need to analyze, I need to know that what need to be done and what do we use it for it. That means with the project which I'm developing, I need to know before and who all are my end users who are going to use it and for what application they are going to use it. Then how to design, how to create my storyboard is my second stage. Development, where all the tools are properly placed, each text, image, audio, video is properly placed on its place. Evaluation, that means when the prototype application is ready to test and it is shown to the end user that this is how the look and feel will be. Distribution, that is the end product is ready and you are sending it to the end user. Now, features of all these authoring tools include editing and organizing features, where I can, as I told you, any authoring tool can be edited at any time. You need to organize the whole tool so that you know what is the sequence and or flow of your data. Programming features can be added, like I can include scripting, I can include programming in my tools. Interactivity features should also be there. There should be navigation buttons so that the person can move in the front also and at the back also. Performance tuning and playback features should be added so that the person is not getting bored with a half an hour lecture. There should be some uh, sound coming, there should be effects coming so that it is a lively session. Then delivery, cross platform, internet playability features are also added in the authoring tools. When I talk of editing tools, it allows me to create, edit, and convert multimedia animation elements such as animation and video clipping. This I can cut the video clip if I don't like any part of it. I can change the animation video if I don't like it. So all this I can do with the help of editing tool. If example can be seen as your JPEG image. Once you have taken your image, previously we can't do any editing to it. Now I using the image editing software, I can add hairs to your image, I can make a mustache on your image. So all these are possible with the help of editing tools. The organization, design and production process for multimedia involves storyboarding as well as flowcharting. Storyboarding shows me the sequence how each element is placed on the storyline, and flowchart gives me a visual look of how who is the parent, who is the child, how many sets or subsets I have created. Then in programming feature I might have visual programming, which is simplest click and drag. Scripting programming, scripting language can be included like action script for flash. Then I can have traditional program like C basics. I can have document development tools that are helpful, like they are useful in CD information, product development, and online docs creation. Now they are available in your Google Docs also. The visual programming tools with icons or objects are simpler and easier to create. The authorware and icon tools are suitable for slideshows as well as presentation. Authoring tools offer very high level language that VHL or interpretive scripting elements, so that a user has more clearance of the concept, and the data can be, instead of reading, the data can be visualized and have more effect on visualization. The interactivity session allows the end user to have the control over the content flow. As I told you, I can move forward as well as backward. I can go to any click icon, so that I don't have to go through the whole project when I need some part of the project. I can use simple branching, that is go to jump, or I can use conditional branching like if then else loop. If this is true, then go to this, else go to this. I can use structure and language, which allows me to have complex programming logic or subroutines, or even tracking and message passing among objects and elements. Then we have performance tuning as well as playback feature, where synchronization is difficult, as when we are having performance tuning, we need to have one after the other, each element to be synchronized properly. Authoring system facilitates precise timings of events. It enables the developer to build a part of the project and then test it immediately. Now, when I talk of delivery and cross-platform and internet playability feature, which I have told before, in delivering a project, it is required that the runtime version of the project is given. I only give the exe file. I don't give my whole software. I don't want to give my code to the end user. The runtime version or standalone version allows the project to play back without the complete authoring software or its tools, so that I can have platform independence. The authoring system provides a means for converting their output to be developed within the content of HTML or HTML, that is static or dynamic HTML pages. Now, what is the difference between authoring and programming? There is no hard and fast rule about what authoring, how authoring is distinct from programming. Multimedia products can be created with authoring tools such as Flash, and you can same way create it with using your programming language such as Java or C++ also. In general, the versatility and performance of your application will increase as you move to a fully grown programming languages, but it will be more difficult to implement. When I'm creating my C++ or Java programming, I am using all the, I can increase all the uh, controls, but when the visualization part or the interactivity part cannot be created with these languages, so it is better to combine authoring and programming languages instead of making only one. If I do take only authoring tools, then I running the script or putting something like, if I want to have in the interactive session, I want the script to hold some data that I can, or some security features to be added, that I can do only with the help of programming. So it will better to have a combination of authoring as well as programming feature. Programming will control my loops. Programming will help me to have jumps, help me have conditional branching, and authoring will give me interactive, good visualization, placing of the elements on the storyboard. So both together works fine. So in the last, in the end, I want to just say that multimedia authoring tools provide the framework needed for organizing and editing the multimedia elements in the project. The text and the color compatibility must be verified before choosing any multimedia project. I hope this session is useful for you all. Thank you for the day.